My name is Thomas Boardman, and I volunteered for service in the army in 1939. We arrived in Singapore in early May 1941, and it was no war out there, and it wasn't a bad life. Of course, little did we know what was on the horizon, and on December the 8th, our friends, the Japanese, decided to bomb Pearl Harbor. At the same time, they bombed Singapore, and life changed dramatically. I was a prisoner of war and moved to a place called Changi, and we had to get used to our new diet, which was rice, a portion of rice, 3 times a day. Dysentery started to break out, and that was horrible, and lots of lads went down with dysentery. And then malaria started to break out, and a lot of lads, including myself, went down with malaria. And we'd done various jobs up and down the island, and one of the jobs I got was building a memorial to the Japanese that had been killed. Looking round, I found an old mandolin with 8 of the gear changes. And I said, I'll hold on to these, because I had a ukulele, but I lost it, of course, when the war started. And I said, I'll have a shot at building one. And I started to look round for pieces of wood and deciding what size I was going to make it. I measured up the spaces for the frets and things like that, and I found time to put this ukulele together. And by this time I found bits and pieces of wood around and about the camp, and got it into shape, and then nailed it together in the size I wanted, and made the frets to fit on the arm of the ukulele, and eventually I got it playing. So that took about a couple of months before I finished it off. I played it up and down the line, and in the huts at night, with a fellow who carted his accordion up and down the railway. And we used to play a various sections of these big huts, accommodation huts, and to keep the troops happy, as it were. I sang a few George Formby hits, which I've long forgotten, and we eventually came back to Chunkai to find that the majority of the lads had now come back down the railway and were forming concert parties. And it was a good job to be in, because it took you out of the slave labour. And I was in a little small band, so, and in the evenings we used to put shows together. The Japanese surrendered when the Americans dropped an atomic bomb on Nagasaki, and then Hiroshima. And I flew away from this airstrip we built to Rangoon, thankfully, and I was on a ship that was to prove to be the first one back in England, in Southampton, in 1945, in October 1945. So got back to England, back home to Leigh, reunited with my family, and kept the ukulele, played it quite a few times, until we got here, actually, in his house. And from here I decided I wasn't playing it all that often. I'd donate it to the Imperial War Museum.